Welcome to the Glass House. It is a Christmas season episode.
You're supposed to be opening with Merry Christmas.
That's why I was saying that.
Well, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody. We are about to take a little bit of break from the podcast because it's the holidays. Our kids are coming home, but we thought it would be fun to give you a little bit of a peek into our world, what we're looking forward to at Christmas over the next few weeks, as you also think about yours. And then we'll talk about the new season that's going to be launching with the Glass House in 2025. We'll do that at the end. So, Lindley, what's one thing that you're really looking forward to at Christmas?
Well, most of you know that our oldest daughter, Ava, is engaged. And it turns out that her fiance is going to be with us for Christmas. And so we're kind of looking towards an entirely new Christmas structure. We've always, for several reasons, we've always gone to Arkansas with my family. And we are still going, but we are going to go a little bit earlier and be home on Christmas morning, which we haven't done probably in a decade. So anyway, we're going to be home. We're going to have Miles with us, or not our Miles. He's obviously going to be with us, but Ava's Miles will be with us. And I'm really excited about it. You and I have talked about it. It's a new opportunity for us to create new traditions and set the tone for having in-laws with us.
Very good. You know, the first thing I'm going to mention, number two, what we're looking forward to this Christmas, is watching our kids sleep on the couch. Here's what I mean by that.
Okay.
We were having some family time this weekend. We had the fireplace going, and both of the dogs were dead asleep on the floor, and it felt so peaceful. Mm-hmm. And when our kids come home from college right now, they sleep for like 3 days. Mm-hmm. And there's something about that of just having like a comfortable home where they come home to and feel like they can totally crash. Our daughter recently sent us like a meme about this that
made a sweet Peter Rabbit reel about coming home at Christmas, and it was the little bunny hopping up the street and then got in bed, and the Mama Bunny, I should know her name because we read Peter Rabbit 1,000 times, but she was fixing like tea for the kids and tucking them in bed, and Max commented on it too, like how excited they are. And I mean, it just made me cry because I was like, having everybody home again is the best part.
Resting.
Rest. Yes.
Just resting.
Yeah.
And life just seems to pick up speed as we go along. So I'm excited to have everyone home. And I know we'll have a lot of things planned, a lot of memories made, but there's something about just chilling on the couch with the crackling fire that I love. Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to that. Mm-hmm. How about you? We're back at you. We're making a list of things we're looking forward to at Christmas.
I thought that was mine.
No, we're going to keep going.
Well, we are serving at our Nashville Rescue Mission. That's a really big, important part to me. And so, and you too, I didn't mean that way, to our family.
Yeah.
And so I am looking forward to that so that the kids can remember, we are very fortunate. I think that's the hard thing with kids and ourselves even, and the gift culture, to remember how much we have. So I am actually looking really forward to going down there and serving with the mission and being reminded of God's goodness to us.
Absolutely. Our son is coming home from college his freshman year, and he's back with his girlfriend. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this relationship now takes on some kind of new dynamic.
I'm excited about having her back in the house.
Yeah, we miss her. Like, they broke up when he went to college. They've decided to get back together. She lives in the same town as us. So having her back over to the house and watching that relationship take on kind of what is a chapter 2, I'm kind of interested to see how that unfolds. Aren't you?
Yep.
A lot's happened to both of their lives.
Yep.
And I'm interested to see how maturity has affected them. So watching the love dramas in our house play out is going to be pretty interesting.
Love dramas.
Well, our daughter with her fiance and then our son with his girlfriend, like, they're going to be around a lot.
We're actually also housing a young man that we've never met before in January and February and some of March. And he's going to be there a little bit over the Christmas season for us to meet. And, that is a form of hospitality that we don't talk about enough. It's just opening our homes to someone who needs a space. He's interning, and it's very hard to find property in Nashville for 2 months. And so we just said, we know him through our son, or our son knows him. And so I'm excited about that, just having another person in the home to spice things up a little bit.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to all the stuff you have on the calendar. You're really good at proactively making a whole list of things that are going to be intentional, memory making, something that lives on the camera roll, whereas I would probably just hang out at the house all day.
Let's tell the listener about our dilemma.
Okay.
So one night I bought 7 non-refundable tickets to the Zoo Lights in Memphis on our way to Arkansas. and found out the next morning that UT will be playing the Ohio State on the same night, which
Yep.
is causing a little bit of a disruption in my plan.
Yeah, this is a major problem we have here. We have a beautiful Christmas light display at a zoo, and we have the most important football game of the year. And it's mom's wishes versus the boys at this point. But I was proud of our son, who said last night he'd be happy to go to the Christmas thing and then watch the first half on his phone if he had to
Yes.
on the way to Arkansas.
Yeah. Anyway,
It wasn't anybody's fault, though. You tried your best.
so
So we all have a lot of things
give
happening.
a little devotional thought, and then we'll talk about 2025.
Well, Christmas is a time of reflection for me. As I'm getting older, I'm 48, 2 years away from the empty nest. 2026, people, is going to be a really big year. Our 25th anniversary, my 50th birthday, and all of our kids gone from the house.
Yep.
And so there is something about the passage of time that is sobering. And Christmas, for whatever reason, is always that time where I stop and really kind of take all that in, that our lives are really passing us by. I've always heard that phrase, life is what happens while you're making other plans. And I'm just watching our kids grow up. I'm watching our lives evolve and change. Your parents are aging, and that's changing traditions. Christmas seems to be the time to stop and say, Lord, thank you for all of the wonderful gifts, but also to embrace some of the sadness of the change. As we've studied a lot of emotions on this, gladness is the ability to hold both joy and sadness together. And I don't know that there's a time more than Christmas time where I have to learn how to do that. That there's so many gifts and so many joys, but also some grief to bear about things that have changed. And we're wrestling with that as we're also grateful for what is in now.
This reminds me how you guys may have heard of this before, but I just learned of this weekend, that there is a Christmas service a lot of churches hold that is called a Blue Christmas service for the people who have grieved this year. And just, it's not a season of celebration. It's just a season of like pure grief. And some of you listening have experienced that. You've lost loved ones. And I had never heard that. And I thought, what a great way to reach your community for those people who are really, really suffering. Because we haven't suffered yet like that. And so this is an exciting time for us. But yeah, had we lost a child this year, had we lost a parent, something like that, this would be a horrible season. So I just, as you talk about the tension of holding that, I thought that's such an interesting service to have at your church.
Yeah, and in terms of like, how do we apply that? It seems to me at Christmas time, one of the most important things is to not just celebrate the great things that are happening, but to recognize the people around us who have had one really hard year. And who's checking on them, who cares about them, who sees them. To pretend that it's all great and wonderful isn't consistent with Scripture. One of my favorite songs is the song by Andrew Peterson, Is He Worthy? And I love that opening phrase where he says, do you feel the world is broken?
Do we sing? We do.
It just seems to set the tone of what is reality on planet Earth. That yes, at Christmas time we celebrate the coming of the Savior, but it did not fix everything. The world is still a tough place to live, but the hope we have is in the future coming of Christ again. And so Christmas kind of brings all that together for me. Well, hey, we need to let you know that we're going to take a little break, a little pause in the action until February with the holidays and New Year and all that. So if you really are hungry for some Glass House in the meantime, we want to give you a couple of our favorite episodes you can go back and listen to. Maybe you missed one of these.
What are a couple of your favorite episodes?
I really liked the episode we had with Ben Skipper.
Ben and Lindsay, 101.
It's 101. I liked episode 101. I love interviewing folks who are off the beaten path in terms of they may not lead larger churches. You may not ever hear their names. But when you have a conversation with them and you realize, man, there's so much depth here.
And joy. They love their church.
Yes.
They love their church.
And also, I remember a high level of self-awareness of Ben sharing about his own struggles with organization and being kind of having his act together and having to rely on his wife for a lot of that. I really loved the realness of that episode. How about you?
So I don't remember the number of this, but I know it was back in March, and it was with Mark and Jenna Halleck. And I think that one for me was a turning point at the very, very end, if you have not listened, go to the end. And they talk about the joy they have with their staff. And there's something in that episode that clicked with me in that with the Glass House, I don't always want to talk about the negative because, man, there's some couples out there who are having a great time with their church, with their staff, and how they love on them. I mean, they're the ones who talked about having their staff in their home a lot. And so that was a really a key moment, turning point for me with the Glass House.
Yeah, that was a great episode. They had such an infectious joy for their team that made me want to be on their staff.
I loved the, I'm jumping ahead from you. I loved the episodes of Through the Decades with both Donna Gaines and Ann Wright. So Through the Decades with Ann Wright was 114.
114. And
Through the Decades with Donna Gaines was 121.
The thing I remember most about Donna was how she immediately thanked you for the hairbrush. Is there anything else you want to say about this magic hairbrush that's changing people's lives?
It's magic. If you haven't bought it, go to Bounce Curl on Instagram and buy
Curl?
Bounce Curl. I'm kind of having a bad hair day, though, so this isn't a good representation.
Just say you didn't use Bounce Curl today. That's why you're having a bad hair
today.
day.
Yes, I needed the brush.
Your bad hair day is most people's a good hair day.
Thank you, babe.
Yeah. Yeah, so those are some of my favorite episodes.
Okay, so we've already recorded a lot. We're starting in February. Talk about the first episode.
I'm pumped about this next season. We're going back to the basics in terms of this whole podcast started with let's get people talking about the real and raw emotions of being a human being in ministry. So we've taken Chip Dodd's book, Voice of the Heart, and we're basically breaking down each emotion week by week and having a special guest talk about it.
Yeah.
It's going to be really good. The first episode with Chip Dodd is like the overview.
And Brian Barley.
And Brian Barley, those two guys, I think it kind of blew my mind. And then it was fun to kind of start working through them.
Past Chip Dodd and Brian Barley's episode, we had one with Kenny Sanderford talking about loneliness. We've had one with Steve and Lisa Cuss talking about anger. And the thing to know about a lot of these people is that they are professional counselors, therapists, and so they have really good information on that. It's not an opinion. It's, it's some real life experience of how to handle these situations in the Glass House.
I just want to say thank you to every single person who has either emailed us at president@lifeway.com or come up to us at an event or when I preach at your church. There's always been like this one person that has such a kind word about the podcast that keeps us going. That the episodes really do matter. There's so many podcasts out there. The last thing you and I want to do is just generate noise. So thank you. I just want to say specifically, you don't know how important it is to us to hear a good word or to hear like there was this one episode and this one statement resonated with me and it helped me get past something. So we just want to continue to hear from you at president@lifeway.com. If nothing else, you're giving us a gift of inspiration as we continue to churn this thing out. And it's been a labor of love. I can't believe we're at like 100 and what are we now?
126.
126 episodes.
The first one in February.
That's so amazing to me. So thank you for being encouragers to us. We hope you all have a very Merry Christmas. We're going to be taking a little break in January, and we will see you back in February, kicking off this new season on emotions. The Glass House is executive produced by Angie Elkins, edited and engineered by Donnie Gordon with help from Nathan Howard, show notes and production help from Nikki Ogden, photography by Emily Bergeron and Bailey Watley. Recorded at the Lifeway Podcast Studio in Brentwood, Tennessee.